Yo kijkers van DusDavidGames, welkom bij een nieuwe Leer LOL. Vandaag hebben we een super speciaal interview voor jullie. Namelijk een interview met de enige echte toplaner van TSM, Marcus Hill, a.k.a. DYRUS. Nou, het interview gaat een beetje over wat hij van toplane vindt en hoe hij de toekomst van Season 4 eruit ziet zien. Daarnaast hebben we het ook een beetje over privé dingen, over persoonlijke dingetjes. En over het vorige season, wat hij ervan vond. En ook natuurlijk hoe hij kijkt tegenover het opkomende World Championship in Season 4. Het interview is samen met Choppy, David en mijzelf gedaan. En natuurlijk met de enige echte DYRUS. En mocht je hem nog niet kennen, dit is hem.
My name is Marcus DYRUS Hill. I play for Team Solo Mid top laner and my favorite champion is Singe.
Vanavond gaan we een hele speciale Leer LOL doen. We gaan het namelijk om middernacht even hebben over LOL samen met de enige echte toplaner van TSM, DYRUS. DYRUS, how are you doing, man?
What's up?
Well, I'm hearing you're doing fine. Hey man, are you up for a little chat about League of Legends?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. So we're just entering, or actually finishing off Season 3. How do you feel that Season 3 went? Because a lot of our viewers are actually like really wondering how you felt about the whole season.
I thought it was in fact a much better season than last season. As always, there was a way of playing other teams every single week, and we actually had a pretty good run in NA for both of the splits.
Mm-hmm.
And then when World Finals came around, there was a new studio, and I haven't got to play in a place where there's a huge crowd, and in a long time, and it was very very interesting. It was very fun, except for losing, of course. But this year, instead of just the Gallon Center, they had the Staples Center also, which is used for NBA, basketball games, which is in fact itself amazing because that's where the Lakers play, and a bunch of other teams play. So it's a big upgrade. There was some downsides, which would be the finals was 3-0. So it wasn't as hyped, or it wasn't ended as well and as living up to the hype compared to last year. But overall I still think it was a big upgrade from last year.
Awesome. Well, actually, you shouldn't complain because I looked up some trivia and it actually said that you were in all of the 3 World Championships. Right?
Well,
one of the 5 players.
I mean, technically, yeah, I guess so in a way. Something about that is I usually play well up to that, and then when I finally get there, I don't prepare myself enough, and then I choke. So, although I am there, I haven't had the best performance yet, but still looking on to next year. I'm gonna make sure I get into the next World Champions and keep that record going.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking forward to seeing you there. But for now, we're still in Season 3. A lot of people were asking, what is your favorite top laner right now in solo queue to play?
Right now I enjoy playing Garen. His dance is
drop bows, yeah.
His dance is ridiculously funny, and when he spins it just looks so funny, and then like all of his new sound effects and everything new about him is just so fresh. And not to mention his Steel Legion skin. When you ult someone, you basically it's just a giant lightning bolt, and it's very very entertaining and fun to watch. So I enjoy playing Garen, although he may not be the best or most viable champion top lane. I feel like he is kind of like an AD version of Singed.
Alright, well that sounds pretty cool. I mean, you've been trolling a lot with Singed in the past, so maybe in the future with Garen. But right now we're turning into Season 4. A lot of the pro players say like, well, I'm not gonna play champions right now which are getting nerfed. So they are looking at champions which are currently, not the best but viable, and they expect them to, rise up in season 4. So they are fully experienced players by then. Which top laners do you think will be very viable in season 4, and which you should train right now?
No matter what, all the top laners of mobility top that are allowed to survive in the top lane that are tanky and have fast mobility, such as Jax or Renekton, will always be viable. Unless they get nerfed again for whatever reason, which is possible but highly doubtful. Right now, if Triforce doesn't get nerfed, every single person top lane that builds Triforce is viable.
Even Garen.
Even Garen. Well, I wouldn't build Triforce and Garen, but if he did, he'd probably be viable too.
Exactly. But in the previous seasons, we've actually noticed that there are a lot of structural changes. In Season 3, it was actually the jungle which was changed a lot. Do you expect changes in the top lane for the next season? Like structural changes.
As for players or just in the game in general?
Well, like the role of the lane. Like right now, it's just kind of a farm-up lane, right?
Top lane is basically you're either 1v1 against a top laner, or you're just sitting behind creeps waiting to try and get farm. I'm foreseeing a day where people actually pick heroes that can get that farm and survive those dives.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had those heroes in mind, and I've had the countermeasures ready, but I just haven't had a chance to ever try it, and I've never been able to convince my team that it actually works.
All right.
So, as for the top lane role, it'll all really depend on the players that play it.
Yeah, exactly. So the players kind of make the game, or at least the game.
Yes, like 100%.
But now in season 3, the finale, we have actually seen that there were 2 Asian teams. How do Asian teams, like how does Asian top lane differ from the general Western top lane, like American and European? And did you learn anything from them?
When playing against international top laners, it's always a different experience because it's not really only them, it's also their junglers, the way their junglers play. I haven't really learned anything from any top laner other than the Korean top laner Impact.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else has pretty much shown the same thing in the past like couple of months/years. I noticed the difference in the way they play and how everything's calculated and how they're not afraid to burn summoner spells.
All right.
And their decision making, and just looking at that and looking at ward placements from other top laners, and actually not only them but everyone around the top lane wards people put, I've learned the placements of that.
All right, so if you've been keeping an eye on Impact, the top laner, do you have any top laners you're really looking forward to in season 4? Like, do you actually have somebody you're closely monitoring to see like how you need to improve your own game, or do you just create your own game?
Even though these top laners that I'm gonna say didn't make it, I was really looking forward to seeing Flame or Shy at Worlds. And every time I see them play, they play it so well and perfectly, and that if their team just played a little bit better, then they'd probably just be there. And you can say that for a lot of teams. A lot of teams, like, it's not only NA, but everywhere around the world, there's always that, like, weak link part of the team that underperforms. For example, like, this and last year I underperformed at the World Finals when it counted, but I also performed pretty well when it was off season, and other people will underperform off season. And it's just kind of like different timings and different synergies for the team. And for season 4, I think that the team that fixes all those flaws is probably just going to straight out win. And that team this year was SKT.
Yeah, definitely. So actually our viewers have a lot of struggles sometimes with bronze, silver. I mean, climbing the ELO hell ladder, as they call it. Do you have any golden tips for them? Like some tips which just really helps them out for getting higher in these ladders?
Preferably champion picks. That usually works, right?
Yeah, for solo queue.
Yes, I even have a notepad for this, but for every role, there's that one champion that doesn't require as much skill.
Mm-hmm.
And hold on, someone's poking me. How do you turn this thing off? Alright. Alright, so if you're a top laner, I suggest heroes like either Singed or, even Tryndamere. And what you want in the top lane is either really obnoxious top laners such as Nidalee or Singed, or you want really strong late game such as Tryndamere or Jax. And if you aren't able to beat your lane, you'll still be able to farm late game. Heroes that just push and put pressure and that are good with ganks. One of the champions that would be Elise. She has strong laning, she has mobility, and she catches people out with her E. If you're able to hit E, you will 100% win the game for your team if you can hit a really, really good E. And if you snipe their back line, like you basically take someone out of the game instantly. And champions like that change the game so much is what I would suggest for top. For mid lane, overall there's a lot of mid laners like Ari and Zed and such. But in the end, honestly, you could probably play Karthus all the way up to Challenger. You could probably just play Karthus all the way there. And if Karthus is banned or if they play like Kassadin or something, then you can always move on to the other OPs like Zed or Ari. As for bot lane, for AD, I would suggest Graves. He's the most straightforward AD. But at the same time, there's late game ADs like Vayne or Twitch. And right now, one of the strongest ADs bottom is Corki. So if you play Corki, that is probably your best bet into having the highest chance of winning your lane if you're very good at that champion. And for the support, to carry as a support, you can get really, really good at hooking people with Thresh or Blitzcrank. And the option to that is you could also pick Zyra. She has lots of disengage, she has engage, she has poke, and she does lots of damage. Or you can play Janna, who has a high win ratio. If you get a good Janna, you can change the game. If you play Sona, same thing, you can change the game. But Sona's mostly about winning the lane. And she's not really a reliable engage, but you could probably pull it off in solo queue. And last but not least, for the jungle, picking junglers that just straight up farm is probably the best, or a jungler that goes into Triforce, like let's say Nocturne. If you build the Ninja Tabi and the Ancient Golem and then go into Triforce on Nocturne or Vi or even Hecarim, you can straight up carry the game. And one of the biggest jungle carries would be either early game heroes like Jarvan or Lee, but let's say you fail with them, you'll probably do really bad. So let's take a step back to Nocturne. Nocturne's ult, you could pretty much guarantee a kill every single time if you if you do it well. And Nocturne's not that bad one-on-one. And one last thing for junglers is if you always get movement speed, it actually increases your jungle time and increases your, chances of ganking and, doing things all around the jungle since you're moving all the time.
That was an amazing answer. Like, there are no excuses anymore for our viewers to not reach Diamond right now. Choppy, you had a question?
I have some questions from viewers, for example. There was one funny question. Are you planning to get a new pillow?
Not planned, but Freak took mine from season 2. So I don't know. I would usually carry it around, but there's a lot of negative and positive feedback, and I realize I don't really want to carry my pillow all around the world.
Now, people consider it trolling, right?
Yeah, it's just pretty much trolling. It's not really like I mean, it actually does help me in a kind of sense, in all honesty. When you play League, like even when I play on stream, a lot of people notice that my mouth moves, and that's because I'm, somewhat nervous, and I always get nervous. So when I, hold something soft like a stuffed animal or pillow, like when people hold stuffed animals when they sleep when they're little kids, they feel less nervous and they're able to sleep. And that kind of applies to me in video gaming. Some people have picked that up actually, holding a stuffed animal or pillow while they play, and some people have told me that they play a lot more comfortably, and it was something that I had going for me for a while. It was just something out of the blue that just came up.
Quick question from my Twitter audience, who are actually watching on Choppy stream right now. You didn't mention Irelia on top lane or Nasus on jungle. Is there a reason?
They're also the top laners you can carry with. There's no exception for them. You can build Triforce on both of them. Irelia is very good at last hitting, and Nasus pretty much beats up every single person up in the game.
At late game? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Choppy, did you add anything else? Because I have a very cool question.
Lot of questions popping up, man. I had a question myself as well. There's been some issues with Eframu and Pobelter from Curse. I don't know if you've spoken to them, but what is your look on the situation with Eframu not playing for Curse anymore, being replaced by Cop?
What I see is that they have very little time to find another team for the LCS, but I feel like they'll still be in the player pool to pick up as subs. I don't know the full story, so I can't say much, but actually I don't know any of the story.
Just be honest, man. We're all people here,
But I thought those players would be, fine on Curse. I actually was a lot of people were excited, and it isn't because their names, or isn't because Aframu is kind of popular, or it isn't because Poelter is like a little bit popular, but because I played with them before. And, I've seen them choke at lands, but they always had potential. Poelter just reached the age finally being able to play now, and he's always been a good player. You see him in solo queue on NA, and for Aframu, you see him in solo queue. Like, these players aren't bad, and I don't know why they got taken off for whatever reasons were given. It's completely up to the Curse organization, and it could have been school problems, but it's just kind of lame for Aframu and Pobelter. But if you want to know more, you can ask him yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, like, you're probably don't want to blend yourself into that fight. I have another question, which is actually a pretty good question. Do you think that Elise is still a viable top laner, and are we going to see her in the LCS? Because she's been in jungle nowadays.
She's always been a viable top laner. The only reason why you haven't seen people play it is because she's kind of hard to play, but I don't know. I feel like everyone's kind of been putting it off. Like I've been putting it off for the longest time. I should have been playing Elise all year. One of the other reasons is because she's such a good jungler. She does jungle so fast, she does so much damage, and she snowballs, she can like single-handedly win you the game. One of the reasons why I didn't play her top also is because I didn't have that much time, and if I mastered Elise and I didn't get to play her anyways, and she went to the jungle anyways, then I'm just limiting my own jungler's champion pool, and there's no point of that.
Would you say she's better than Aatrox in jungle, or?
Honestly, I don't know, but I feel like they're both very strong junglers.
Cool. Wouter, you got some more questions?
Well, yeah, of course, like tons of them actually.
Well, just pick out the important ones so we can also play a game.
All right. A lot of my viewers, like on Twitter, were actually wondering, right now you're streaming a lot. Doesn't that compromise your practice together with TSM as a team? I mean, you've had streams of 15 hours. I watched you this morning. That's crazy, man.
I'm actually completely fine with practicing. I've been actually playing League more than I ever have. It's just maybe not really like practicing hardcore, but nonetheless playing the game is practicing to me. The biggest reason is instead of going on a vacation, I decided to play more League and stream. That was just a personal decision I had. So if you look at every single member of my team, going from top to bottom, Reggie is back at the house, and he's just playing a little bit and doing work. He was at the World Finals, so couldn't practice during that time, obviously. Special is on his vacation back home, doing his own thing. Odd One is on a vacation to Australia, and Wild Turtle is taking a trip back home. So I can't really practice. We can't really practice right now because we're all like, kind of doing our own thing. And when the team comes back and when we start getting that practice schedule going again, then we'll see more practice from us and less streaming. But right now, since I do have that free time, I'm making the most of it. And it's kind of my vacation, although it's not really a vacation because I'm still playing the game I do for a living. But I'm completely okay with that because I'm very addicted, and that's just pretty much my opinion and what's been going around me. There.
You really do like video games. You often said this on stream that you're very happy that, well, whatever opportunity gave you this job, right? So you can play video games as a living. Can you tell us and our audience a little bit more about that? Like, why do you live for video games?
I've been playing video games since I was 3 years old. My parents gave me a video game, and my grandma would babysit me. I used to play board games with her, and then I played video games. And then the video games was my babysitter for the rest of my life.
What games would that have been, like when you were 10 or 12? What games really drag you through high school?
PlayStation and Xbox.
Yep.
Nice. Mostly PlayStation, but then I finally picked up the Xbox with Call of Duty 4 and Halo 2, Halo 3, like all those games. I'd play the fighting games too, Street Fighter, and I'd play a little bit of everything. I was just a video game addict. No matter what, I could probably play any game unless it's like a sandbox game like Minecraft. I could never have the creativity to do anything in that. But throughout high school, actually my junior year, that's when League came out. So that was basically, I was just playing League of Legends, and I never knew it would be my job today.
Cool. Wouter, do you have some serious questions? Because I have one more, well, it's not exactly a troll question, but more of a funny one.
Well, I think we've ran over most of my questions, especially your explanation about the different roles in the game and the different lanes and the roles really enlightened, I think, my audience about, new possibilities in solo queue. So I'm going to head it over to you, David. Thanks a lot.
All right, cool. 2 questions, actually. That's going to be the last 2. You know that TPA got their own skins for winning the Worlds. Let's just say, hypothetically, that TSM won Worlds. What champions skins would have been given to each of the players of TSM? Like, what are the considered, in your opinion, the most, I can't really find the word for that, the most remarkable or the most sought after champions by that specific player?
It wouldn't really be chosen by us, but it would probably be champions like I would probably get I'm not sure actually. I'd probably honestly get Rumble. And,
I was about to say it.
Rumble skin, yeah. Reggie would be Zed, right?
Reggie would probably be Karthus.
Oh, Karthus.
Oh
yes,
yeah,
of course. Yeah.
Special would be Janna. Odd one would be like Maokai or something, and then
Walter or Caitlyn,
Walter
maybe.
would probably be like Draven or something.
Draven.
Honestly.
Cool. Well, one more question that will not get into any video, but I have seen you on one of your streams where you were queued up with people like Skara, Hotshot, Saint Vicious, and Fabi all into one game. How come those games are never seriously? Like, why is the amount of trolls so high there?
Because when you see so many public League of Legends figures in one place, the League of Legends universe implodes upon itself, and everyone does not really care. We have a habit of trolling each other. Back then, I would try to stream snipe people just for the fun of it, and I don't know. It's just like when we try hard, it never ends up good if the other team wins, so we just stop caring and we all kind of troll.
Well, those games are the funniest to watch, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
It's also good for the community.
Yeah, I bet. Cool. Well, I think that those were all the questions. You're still up for a game, or you're too tired already?
Play one game.
Cool.
Going back to sleep.
Cool, man.